everybody. This is Mike Reno from Loverboy, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast. Hello.
Hey, Mike. I got Chris on the line. Chris, Mike.
Hey, Mike. How are you doing, man?
Hey, Chris. I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's nice to talk to a hometown guy.
Yeah? Cool.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Well, I live in D.C. right now, like Washington, D.C., but I lived in Vancouver for a long, long time, like 25 years or so.
Oh, cool. Well, that's great to see you. Or great to talk to you.
Yeah, you too. Hey, so I see that you guys are re-releasing the LP here, and I'm wondering, how does it feel to go back in time like that? And kind of, I mean, you play these songs live all the time anyways, but, you know, you probably play the hits from these albums and the hits from those albums, but to actually go through and remaster the record and go through all those memories, what was that like for you?
You know what it is for us is we had a lot of fun recording the first record. We were excited to get a record deal. We ended up working with, we didn't know at the time, some of the best people in the industry. Even the second engineer, the guy who goes for coffee and puts tapes on, he now mixes and records AC/DC albums. You know what I'm saying here?
Right. Yeah.
So this was a group of people that rose up into the industry all at the same time, because it was our first crack at it, and it was their first crack at it, and everybody's still at it. I mean, it's just crazy. And to watch it, we recorded that album on a shoestring budget and recorded from start to finish in 5 weeks.
Wow.
You know what I mean? 5 weeks.
Did you ever...
That was at Little Mountain, right?
That was at Little Mountain, yeah.
Wow.
And did you guys use Studio A or Studio B for it?
We recorded, let me think for a sec, Studio A.
Oh, wow, in the big room.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's where we got the big sound. Everybody just set up and we just pounded away.
That's great.
Did you ever...
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Did you ever imagine 40 years later you'd still be relevant and still be releasing records and still be doing this for a living?
No, to be honest with you, it's Bruce, right?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, Bruce, we didn't think we just wanted to get to the end of the week and maybe get a case of beer. That's all we were hoping for.
That's like the most Canadian thing I've heard in a long time.
Thank you. And you know what? It's the truth. You know, we never thought. You know, we were hoping something good would happen, but we never thought it would be, you know, last 40 years. And I heard the Kid of Southland on the radio the other day when I was driving around, and I cranked it up, and it still sounds great. It sounds like the first time I listened to it. I just went, oh my God, it still sounds great. And you know, they play all our stuff all the time, and we can't get away from it. But we respect it. And when we play live, we play it just like the record, because we know people want to hear it just like the record.
Gotcha.
Oh, you know, I saw you guys live at the PNE. I can't remember what year it was.
Cool.
And it was just, you were just like kicking ass and taking names still. And I was just like, how are they still doing that? How is he still hitting those notes? It's just like, this seems crazy to me.
There's a lot of squeezing. There's a lot of squeezing of the gonads, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I get it done. And you know what? It's kind of one of those things. When we recorded, we didn't do a lot of overdubs. We wanted it to sound just like it sounds when we record. You know, when we're on the floor playing.
Yeah.
And it was kind of we didn't know why we wanted to do that, because we had the ability to just layer it and layer it and layer it and make it better and make it better and make it big and make it huge and bring in all these people. But we didn't. And I'm glad we didn't, because when we play live, people say, you guys sound just like the record. And I go, thank you very much.
Yeah.
You know, that seems to maybe have influenced Bob Rock and Bruce Fairbairn, because they kind of took that and they still did it. Like, if you watch the documentaries on Metallica or whatever, they were really confused by the whole situation that they were all supposed to be playing at the same time in the same room. They were like, why? Why are we doing this?
Exactly. Well, that's what Bob Rock loved that about it. He says, just play. You guys play, I'll record you, and it'll just be great. Don't worry about it. And that was, Bruce Fairbairn also. His suggestion was not to overproduce us, which, you know, it's tough to make a decision like that. Just let it happen. Some bands, they need a lot of work. Our band just all we really needed was to set up the microphones and let them go, which is, different for everybody, but that's how it was for us.
What was it like? Like, obviously, you guys went on to super success, and they went on to super success, but all of you at that time were basically lucky to be in Little Mountain, Like, everyone else, like, they were cutting commercials during the day for advertising, and you guys were writing songs in a jam room. What was it like when you got into the studio? Did you feel that magic, that special feeling that happened, or was it just cutting a record?
Well, you know what? That's a very good question. I've never been asked that question before. We were nervous, to be honest with you. I had to really find my place. First off, we record with headphones on, and generally when we play live, we don't wear the headphones in the old days, anyways.
Yeah.
So getting used to that was one thing. I had to be put behind a partition so that all the sounds from all the other instruments didn't get through my vocal mic.
Right.
Yeah. Because a lot of the vocals I did while we're recording, we just kept them. It's not like we had to redo all the vocals. A lot of them were kept just from doing the track. But we'd record, we'd start getting the sound, and then we realized how good it sounds with all the great microphones and everything that we had set up. Because we're just recording our gear. It's not like we had special recording gear. What we did is we had special microphones to make it sound really good. Yeah. So the beauty, I think, with the producers and the engineers for Loverboy, like you said, was to let it happen simply. And I think they did take that on to some of their other bands and stuff. Just record off the floor and leave it alone.
Yeah, but did you feel that magic happening, or was it all nerves and like?
I could tell a few of the songs that gave me chills, and I went, "This is going to be a big song." You could kind of tell after you listen to it, and people are kind of twisting the knobs and making it sound good in the mix. And I went, "Oh my God, this is huge!" I'd walk out of the recording studio and I'd look up into the sky and go, "Oh my God, we're so lucky to be in here." We felt really lucky to be there.
That's great.
Yeah, it's such an unassuming building too, because you walk out and there's just like, it's industrial, really. Like, it's just office buildings and stuff. There's
201 West 7th. I think they just did. You know what they just did recently?
What's that?
At Little Mountain, they redid the Studio A with the whole big room and everything, and they made it look exactly like it did in the 70s and 80s.
Wow.
Yeah, Garth did that.
Yeah, they took it back to the way it used to be, because they turned it into a rehearsal studios. So they went in the big room and they put up all kinds of cubicle rooms so people could practice. And that was just a way to run a business, because there was a point when the recording studios weren't doing that well, because everybody was just recording at home or whatever on their computers. So there was a lull. And then it became fashionable to go back in the studio. And I'm glad they did. We actually, Loverboy put a concert together for them. We went down to the studio. We set up in the back, and there's about 150 people in the room drinking wine and walking around. We had a little bit of mood lighting on, and then we played 9 songs. It was fantastic.
That's crazy.
What a throwback. That must have been amazing.
Yeah, it was really something. I got shivers for sure.
Yeah, just to hear those acoustics again. I mean, that room was designed by John Vertasek, who is like one of the best studio designers in history.
Yeah, you know all about it. You know John Vertasek and everything, huh? That's cool.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
I don't know if you know Boris Drassic or not. He owns Sonic Farm Pro Audio.
Right. Yeah.
He trained under John, so that's how I learned about all of it. Yeah. And I was partly trained by Keith Steen, who was your engineer on the second. So,
yeah, he did some of our big record. I think he was an engineer on Get Lucky, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. So he partly trained me. So I learned about all this history just from being in the recording business in Vancouver. And like Bruce has always been from the U.S., so he doesn't know how big of a recording scene Vancouver was per se.
I mean, I saw all the records coming out of there, in the 80s, in our prime time, all the great stuff that came out of it. But yeah, I don't know it for sure.
Sorry, Bruce, if I'm taking all your time. You can take
no,
over.
Dude, you're fine. You're totally fine. So this is a 2-part question, I guess. One, are you guys planning on doing any kind of live stream or kind of I guess you can't really tour at the moment. And 2, what does a Loverboy show actually look like now? Because I imagine it's multi-generations, and that must feel pretty cool as well, right?
You know what? We're noticing a lot of the summer concerts, the young people in their 20s come up, and they go out of their way to put a headband on or something red, and you could tell that they've gone to the internet and they've watched all the videos and they've learned all the songs, and it is there's a generation of people that are getting into it, and we kind of miss that in the fact that we can't tour right now. We had to cancel or postpone 80 shows last year.
Wow!
Wow!
And now we're chomping at the bit. Like I said, my bags are packed and by the front door. I'm ready to go. But we have to wait for this vaccine to kick in and for everybody to get healthy again. Yeah. Because, who's going to want to go to a concert with 5,000 people breathing down on your neck?
Yeah.
Until the COVID thing gets demolished. I can't even believe what we're going through. It's hard. I can't even believe I just said that. It's just so crazy, right?
Are you guys doing any sort of
crazy?
Are you guys doing any sort of live stream or anything like that, or you have any plans to do something similar?
I got to say to you, I don't think Loverboy is represented very well on live stream, and I'll tell you why. First off, a lot of us can't even be together because one of the guys lives in North Carolina, and some of our roadies are over in Toronto area and stuff, and it's just like we just can't get it together to be in the same room. And if you're not all together in the same room, plus we like to play in front of an audience. We feed off an audience. I think it would be disastrous to do a virtual thing for Loverboy. Loverboy is a high energy rock band.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I've seen a few people do a few things, and you know what? It's okay if you want to just do it and do it for a charity and strum on a guitar. That's okay, but it's not really what we're all about.
Right. And I've seen people doing it, and some of them are really, really done well, but I think you have to put a whole lot of effort and time into it to make it done well, because the crappy ones don't really go over well, for me anyway. Does that make sense?
I'm with you. Some people are really good at, like Springsteen, right? He can strum a guitar and sing a song, and you go, wow, that was awesome. But for me, I'm really not that guy. Right. I'm not the Springsteen kind of guy. I need to have an audience, and I feed off them. They feed off me. We have a fun time together. There's lights and there's sound, and it's like the excitement of live. And I don't really want to spoil it by coming out and just singing in my garage, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how have you been...
That's how I feel.
How have you been occupying your time during this whole, I guess it's almost a year now?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm shooting the low 80s in my golf match.
There you go.
Nice.
And a bunch of the people that usually never see me all summer are saying, hey, you're around, you want to golf? So I ended up doing a little bit of boating, a little bit of golfing, which I hadn't been able to do for years because we tour so much that even though I got a nice little fishing boat, it usually just sits there empty, and then I take it out a little bit before it snows, kind of thing, and then it's over for the season. That's life living in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, today it's a beautiful day and nice and sunny, and I got no complaints. But I'm just saying, in general, I'm usually away all the time, and I don't get a chance to do a lot of the fun things. So actually, I've been taking care of having some fun things, and
that's good,
and doing some fun things, and hanging out with the family, and it's really been nice for me to be home. But the joke's over.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready to go back.
Time to go.
Yeah, there's some nice golf courses there, though. So if you can't tour, at least you get to hit a ball around the field. So.
Yeah.
Chris?
So when I was preparing for this interview, I came across the video for "Turn Me Loose," and it brought me back to the weirdest memory. This is a strange memory, but I was in West Edmonton Mall, and I was in the Mr. Entertainment in West Edmonton Mall, and I always wanted this bass, so I would go in there just to play that bass for like 10 minutes or whatever they'd let me play it for. I couldn't afford to buy it. And I had heard "Turn Me Loose," and I learned it before I went in. I was like, oh, I'm playing this in Mr. Entertainment. And I'm wondering, how many people have you met, bass players in particular, that tell you about that particular riff?
Well, you know what? When that riff hits, it's pretty cool. I played that riff so many times. Paul Dean said, "If you play that one more time, I'm going to shove that guitar up your ass." And I went, hold it, Paul. I said, "This could be a good song." And he went, "Yeah, but I don't. God damn, you play it all the time." You know, he was just almost mad at me, right? And then we turned it into a song. But first of all, I'd like to know a little more about Mr. Entertainment. I don't think the listening public actually understands what that is. Tell me a little bit about that.
Mr. Entertainment was like a music store like Sweetwater or something that was in all of the malls in Canada.
Ah, okay.
So you could go in and buy like keyboards or guitars or amps or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So like a Sam Ash?
Yeah, like a Sam Ash, but it was way smaller, right?
I was so used to being in the States, I don't remember Mr. Entertainment, but I'm gonna I wonder if it's still there in the West Edmonton Mall.
No, they went bankrupt. But man, I would go in there and I would play that riff, and I would pick up this PV bass that I just dreamed about, and I'd plug it into one of these big bass amps that had the chorus on it, and I would just that riff would get so loud I'd shake the walls, and the guy would come over, "Turn it down."
That's so cool. I think I'd like to meet you, sir.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. And it made me think about, like, if I'm having these memories of just from that one riff,
right?
How do you think your songs have affected people's kind of growth as they go through? Like you know how music kind of brings you back to certain times in your life or certain places.
Well,
you know, you must have had thousands of those things happen without you actually being aware that they were happening. So do people come up to you a lot and tell you about those memories, or?
You know what? I've heard so many stories in my life. And a lot of the stuff is, you know, a song like Turn Me Loose, it actually inspired people to break away from something that was really negative in their life and make changes. Which I often thought, what a great thing. I said, I never really meant it to be that way. But a lot of times a good song can be taken any way you want to. You know, everyone takes it differently. And that's the beauty about music, I guess, because you can take it any way you want. So Turn Me Loose was written by me about something that I went through. But a lot of people put it in their lives and they say, well, I finally told my boss to shove it. I got a better job out of the deal and I've never been happier, you know, and a lot of it started to Turn Me Loose. And now that's a kind of a cool thing to hear from people. It's like, I can't believe you're telling me this. We've talked to a lot of people over the years, you can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's got to be pretty cool when you make that connection with a fan, though, right?
Oh, God, it's the best. That's really what it's all about. It's, for me, it's an inspiration is what it is.
Yeah. Chris?
Sorry, I was just looking at my notes here. It says here that you guys still have the record for Juno Awards. Is this still true?
Yes, sir. I'm proud to say.
Wow.
Nobody's come close to our 7 Juno Awards in one night.
Wow.
6 for the band and 1 for the producer. Pardon me.
Wow. So, Bruce, the Juno Award is the equivalent of the Canadian Grammy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's still quite an accomplishment.
Well, yeah, think about it.
Yep. And we're very proud to be members of the Canadian Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is also another big deal.
Oh my God, yeah.
There's a lot of Canadian talent in that book, in that stage. You know, because there's been a lot of bands from the Guess Who, all the way up to, you know, BTO, all the way up to, you know, Bryan Adams, Neil Young. Don't forget Anne Murray, and we've got the Bare Naked Ladies, and, you know, Gowan. And Gowan now plays with, who's Gowan play with? Styx. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah, we talked to him. We talked to him a few months ago.
Very Gowan, great guy.
Super guy.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, we were only supposed to have 20 minutes with him, and he's like, no, I'll stay on, don't worry. He's got you. That's really funny. Super nice guy.
Yeah, it was great. I just think it's great to talk to you because I know growing up, you know, I grew up in I was in high school when MTV was just coming out, and all these songs that Chris is referencing, Turn Me Loose and Working for the Weekend is, you know, what I cut my teeth on. And I remember those videos, they played them incessantly on MTV. You guys were like right on the cusp of that, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
We actually, MTV really changed our lives, to be honest with you. We were just a bunch of guys in a band, and then after MTV got 3 videos from us, in the first week they were open, they started playing us around the clock, 24-hour music channel. They needed to, so they played us all day long, all night long. We couldn't even go to the bloody store to get a newspaper anymore. It was like one of those kind of things.
Yep, I remember that clearly.
It really changed everything. It changed everything for a lot of people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I remember it like it was yesterday.
That's great.
Yeah, people say that if their video hit MTV, suddenly their life was just turned upside down overnight. You know?
Well, yeah, because, you know, if you remember back in the day, do you remember what any of the guys in 10cc looked like? Or Supertramp?
Nope.
You know, and you never did see any videos of Jethro Tull and all these bands, right? And all of a sudden, you're in a video, and then there's another video, and then people go, God, like, it looks like so, and we make them look like so much fun, right? So it's just, you're creating this thing, and it's like, and it just starts to snowball.
Yeah.
There's another Canadian term, huh? Snowball.
And now MTV doesn't even play music anymore.
Yeah, right. I know. It's turned into a game show channel, right?
Yeah, there's that meme going around. MTV, 40 years of being open. Thanks for the 10 years of music or whatever.
Yeah, right. That's funny. That's probably, it's actually very true, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't have too much else for you. I mean, it's just been a pleasure to speak with you. Do you guys still have that studio out in White Rock?
Do you know what? Doug and I both live out in White Rock area. I live in Crescent Beach. Crescent Beach is kind of an area in White Rock.
Yeah.
He's got a home studio. I have a home studio. The studio that was owned by Doug Johnson was a different Doug Johnson.
Oh.
Or not. Yeah.
Well, that's not how it was marketed. So there you go.
It's just that crazy. And yeah, I think in an auction he bought at a charity event he bought a Loverboy album, and he kind of I think he meant that go a long ways. Let me just say that.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I never tracked there. I was just wondering if you still were there. Now, are you guys still recording? Like you obviously have a lot of downtime right now. Are you working on new material?
Well, I'm working on a new song right now that Paul and I are working on. I'm going to sing it in the next few days. I've just been kind of getting up for it.
Nice.
And we put some new songs on our website, loverboyband.com, and we're just giving them away now because we feel that people don't have enough patience to listen to a whole album, so we might as well throw a single out every once in a while. And we're just giving it away, so it's no big deal. It's all yours. It's free all the time. Enjoy yourself. Knock yourself out.
Wow. What a that's amazing. That's amazing.
I'm going to let you go here in a second. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm just wondering how you feel about tracking on digital compared to tape now.
You know what? I sing into a microphone. You know what you know what I mean? Digital's pretty cool. I mean, you can do a lot of things with it. And I don't really notice the difference. I'm not an audiophile like, let's say, Paul Dean is, our guitar player. Yeah. He's an audiophile. He probably notices a difference. But the digital format is such a convenient way to record. I could sing here into my microphone, goes into my computer. I run it along the track. I can put any effect I want on it. It's just pretty amazing, really. Back in the old days, you needed to have $500,000 worth of effects sitting in this rack that was behind the chairs, and everybody says, well, patch that in. I need to have this and patch this in. Nowadays, if you know anything about recording, you just bring it up as a little piece of, can't remember what you call it, but you just turn it on. You need a little echo, you turn it on, you change it, you turn it on. You don't have to have a $1,500 echo machine anymore. It's just part of the deal. And,
or a $500,000 tape machine.
No, I'm serious. I remember when Paul was selling some of his stuff, because he had a full-on 48-channel studio with an SSL board and tape machines and stuff like that. He decided not to do it anymore. Every time I'd go up to his recording studio, we'd sit at the end on the table working off a computer. I
Of an SSL desk.
Mixing board. What is all that? He goes, I'm going to sell it. And he sold it for like pennies on the dollar, right?
Wow.
He almost couldn't give the tape machine away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the way it is. That's progress. It's like we don't drive horses to work anymore, do we?
No.
No, I remember when we closed Blue Wave, which was basically across the street from Little Mountain, and we had to get rid of the tape machines. We couldn't give them away. We could not give them away.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted them.
I remember Blue Wave. Yeah.
So
that was upstairs, right?
Yeah, second floor. Yeah.
That was the studio.
Basement was the machine room. Oh, Blue Wave was a beautiful, beautiful room. Beautiful room.
Yeah, that was a good room.
But, yeah.
Anyway,
it's probably a condo. It's probably a condo now, right?
Yeah, everything's condos.
It's some office. Yeah.
If only the walls could talk.
Yeah, I miss that room every day. Every day. Before that studio closed, I actually made drum sample libraries of it so I could keep the drum sounds out of the studio and have it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember taking 18 tapes, 2-inch tapes, over to Hypnosis Studios and having them play they had to bake the tapes and then put everything on digital because the tapes, they don't last forever. They kind of start to disintegrate.
Yeah.
You know that. So we did that with the whole Loverboy collection too over the years.
Oh wow!
All these tapes stored in this storage area, and we realized somebody said if we don't do something with them like right now, we may never get to roll those tapes on the machine again. And you can only roll them once after you bake.
Oh wow!
So you record everything down to digital. So we've got a pretty good library of digital of the 2-inch stuff on digital now.
Yeah, and that's the good part about digital because it sounds exactly like the 2-inch tape sounds.
Yeah.
There's no degradation. You're not running it off another tape. It sounds exactly like it sounds coming up.
And it's all on a hard drive. It's just you can put you can put about 100 of them in the back of your car.
Yep.
Yeah, it's instead of 100 pounds of tape, you have like a 1-pound hard drive in it, and it's not even close to full.
Actually, so the digital thing, like you asked me earlier, I think it's kind of cool. I find it very easy to go from studio to studio. You could never before email tracks to a guy to put keyboards on them, and then he emails them back, and they sound fabulous. I mean, that's where it's turned into, and I think it's much better than it used to be.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that. I mean, I was in DC buying all the stuff that viewers to the Vancouver area, and they just send me stuff. I work on it, and I send it back.
Yeah.
I stream it live back to them, and it's no issue, Yeah,
it's amazing. And that's what a lot of people are doing right now. I prefer to be in the studio with everybody recording, but, that's the way I am. And even if we went in a studio, it would probably be recorded on a digital computer type thing, running through some kind of a cool mixing board. But the day of tape is gone, and that's okay. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. It's over.
Anyway, Mike, I told Tom I would only keep it 15, 20 minutes, so I appreciate you taking the time.
Okay, boys, I really enjoyed talking to you. Let's talk again soon.
Hello out there. Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.